September 2000. That was the month when an organization in America called the Project for the New American Century produced a document demanding that the United States fight, quote, multiple theater wars to regime change country after country. The countries they listed included Iraq, Libya, Syria. Who were these people? Well, they included Donald Rumsfeld, who a few months later would come to power with the Boy Bush administration as Defense Secretary. They included Paul Wolfowitz, who became Deputy Defense Secretary. This process of transformation they were calling for, in other words, this regime change of country after country with multiple theater wars, would be slow in happening. Absent, this is the quote, absent some catastrophic and catalyzing event like a new Pearl Harbor.
17 of the project's participants would later take positions in the next White House administration.
The fact of the power down in itself was unusual. The fact that there were visitors to the tower, many in overalls, like engineers of some kind, wandering around the floors, carrying toolboxes and cables and so on. At the time, wasn't suspicious of it, didn't think anything of it.
You're going to see two big bold numbers. It says BB-18. Those are fuse holders. Now look at all three pictures and look at how many boxes of plastic fuse holders that can be used for remote control demolition.
But it will explode only when fused. And only when you want it to.
He sits there waiting for somebody to tell him what it is he must do. He is not an active president. He doesn't call for telephones. He doesn't issue a parade of crisp orders. He doesn't say, scramble every fighter, bring down all planes, close the borders, go to red alert. Nothing of the kind. He sits there, and we know that his press secretary, Ari Fleischer, is in the back of the room holding up a big placard saying, don't say anything. This is obviously not a president. This is a puppet. This is a figurehead. This is a ceremonial figure, if you like. He simply doesn't know what to do. He's got to be told what to do.
But you can go back to the war. How do you impeach a president for starting a war that John Kerry, Hillary Clinton, and the Democratic majority supported?
Well, I wouldn't impeach him for that. I'd impeach him for sitting there for 7 minutes on 9/11 when he was told the country was under attack.
You would impeach
Seriously.
the president for sitting there waiting for direction from his security people?
Waiting for direction? What direction was he waiting for?
What did you
He's
expect
the president,
of the
Joe.
United States to do? Jump up and run out of the classroom? Oh my God, we've been hit, we've been hit.
Yeah, listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. A president in the nuclear age, Joe, the nuclear age, when missiles can reach us in an hour or less, is told the words, the country is under attack. He's not told what kind of attack, whether it's nuclear, who the attacker is.
But in the case of Bush, despite the fact that one Secret Service agent says we're out of here, they don't move him. He stays there. Somehow that impulse is overridden. The standard operating procedure is abandoned. And Bush is essentially left there as a sitting duck. The invisible government, the coup faction or putsch faction behind 9/11 is in the federal government, but they don't issue engraved invitations to their terrorist actions. They confront somebody like Bush with a fait accompli. What they're saying to Bush is, you've got to go on television and start saying, Bin Laden, Bin Laden, Bin Laden, Al-Qaeda, 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 and you will remain in office. If you don't, you may be liquidated at any time.
I listen to George Bush every day. Here's how you know he's crazy. When someone speaks to you and their words don't match their face, they're insane. When he talks about the war in Iraq, he smiles sometimes. You can't do that.
These are not phone calls within the United States. It's a phone call of a known Al-Qaeda suspect.
They're so caricaturish that they seem like characters in a movie, like a bad action movie. I mean, you think about what you've got. You got Donald Rumsfeld and Dick Cheney, two people arguably forged in the center of the earth. I mean, they're fucking straight up evil. A whole bunch of them. Wolfowitz. I mean, that guy just looked like a demon. You know?
Meanwhile, the government told all the workers that the air was safe to breathe, when it wasn't. And now, 15 years later, most all the people who helped destroy that key 9/11 evidence will soon be expunged from the 9/11 record as well, as they all die of lung-related illnesses. No one would have talked. No one would have come forward. All the most elite financial institutions in the United States, the military-industrial petroleum banking intelligence complex, all benefited massively from 9/11. The masterminds of 9/11 understood that these powerful institutions would all benefit from the wars and panic created by 9/11 and would be very unlikely to throw away potential profits by calling any part of the official 9/11 story into question. Moreover, these institutions own and control the mainstream media and have been using their influence for the past 15 years to condition the American public against any alternative views of 9/11. Filled the debate with conjecture, disinformation, and nonsense.
He said, after the recent attacks which the U.S. has witnessed, the U.S. government ventured to point fingers at me, accuse me of involvement. The U.S. government has consistently blamed me for being behind every occasion its enemies attack it. I would like to assure the world that I did not plan the recent attacks, which seems to have been planned by people for personal reasons.